We are live today. My name is Ginger Broderick, and I'm the host of the Ginger New York TV show. Welcome to Ginger Fridays at M&N. We are live here every Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. We have rock and roll royalty in the house. Boy, we have Earl Slick. How
Yay.
Exciting. And Mark Hudson.
Even more yay.
Thank you guys for coming in.
You're not going to get a word in. Oh,
I didn't get my intro
I'll
in.
be quiet.
No, you won't.
Nice to see you.
We didn't build you like that.
Earl Slick, everyone knows you as the lead guitarist for David Bowie
Yes,
for
they do.
decades. And you're also doing a lot of solo projects. You've been traveling around the world.
I have been.
We've been waiting months for you to come in. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me over.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been in the UK quite a lot,
Yeah,
actually.
I have.
You know, been working with Glenn Matlock, the original bassist for the Sex Pistols,
Wow.
and we're having a blast over there.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And Mark Hudson, everyone knows you from the Hudson Brothers.
Well, only if they're old.
If they're old, over 60.
Slick, don't start so early with me.
It's my job, man.
Yeah, I know.
And you were the musical director for So Ringo Starr
Yep.
for
8 albums worth.
8 albums.
8 records.
And
So I worked my way down, they say, he was the 5th Beatle. I'm somewhere around 107 Beatle, working my way down. But he worked with John Lennon, so he did the...
I'm 106.
Yeah, one under.
And you guys have worked on projects together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I understand you have a couple of live shows coming up over the next couple of weeks. One's tomorrow.
Yes,
There's one
Live
we're
at
actually
Drew's?
doing like a living room show. And it's the first time that we've done this because usually we can't be rated because once we start yelling at each other and swearing, it's quite entertaining for people watching. And it's in Ringwood,
New Jersey.
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 live at Drew's.
And then on Halloween, you're also in New Jersey for another show.
No, Halloween's New York.
New York.
In
Oh, it is?
Marlboro, like cigarettes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is
And
that-
every day
I
is
don't know what
Halloween for
county.
me, so it's like,
And you guys have, what is it, Slick and Rainbow songs?
Yeah,
You know, the
we-
guys that hate each other or something?
No, yes, I did this without you knowing because you were in
What'd you
England.
do?
I'm not going to tell you. It actually said Slick and the Rainbow, 2 guys that don't really like each other doing music. So
When I heard that, the title of that, I thought that must be Mark.
he was gone. I couldn't
he's
get a hold of
gone.
him. He was in London.
No recourse.
No, none.
Okay.
None.
It's okay. We'll wait for a gig. I'll get you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I've seen you perform a lot. I saw you at Hill Country recently with Jeff Slade, and I understand he has a show tonight doing something with Bowie and Lennon, birthdays, right? And you guys have also performed with Mark Hudson on the Thursday. Mark Hudson on the
Yes.
Thursday at Iridium.
At the Iridium.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah,
really
Hudson on the
something.
Hudson on the Hudson.
Hudson on the Hudson.
Hudson on the Hudson.
Thursday on the
It's a
Hudson.
blast, that one, actually.
Yes.
It's well worth going, especially when I'm there.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? His amp was so loud that he changed the hair color of my bass player.
Oh, really? Is that
Because
what
he was
happened?
on 9 million. Yeah, but once we start playing live, it's a whole different sense of fun. We've gotten away from that in this day and age with all the computers and all that kind of stuff. We're sort of like old school because when we play, we really do.
Yeah.
So there's a different energy that happens
Yeah.
when that.
My brother
goes.
was here in May, and we went to your show at the Iridium. He really, really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's really loose. Like we never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's what rock and roll is. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. Isn't that's so beautiful?
That was the idea.
I know. They got away from it
A
now.
little bit.
All of
Yeah.
these kids now, I don't even know what that is anymore.
Well, you guys inspired me to learn the guitar. I've been taking lessons, and God bless you, what you're doing. I took a lead guitar class, and I'm like, how do they do it? How do they
you look
do
good
it?
rocking out with that. You got like.
Yeah.
You don't
I want to be a
practice.
rock star by the time I'm 60, and I a few more
Earl
months to
just
go.
said it though. He goes, "Don't practice. You'll be
I
great."
haven't practiced a day in my life.
You'll be
Hey,
great.
we have a couple of photos. I got that one. I
Oh,
pulled
there
that
we
from
are.
the
Yeah,
Iridium.
there it is.
That was the
I
picture.
think in that one you were teaching me the chords.
That was a
No, I
great
was giving you the
show.
cue that I'm going to give you
I know you're
today,
giving the cue
later.
that- there's
The
this weird-
1-2 cue.
There's this weird thing in the John Lennon song "I'm Losing You" that Earl was on the record. John would write in a way where he would do stuff that would almost be out of time, or it'd be his own time signature. So in the song "I'm Losing You," as opposed to usually music is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like hat sizes, 7 and 5/8. So it's this thing, and I have to look at Earl, and he goes, now, and then I can make the chord change.
Isn't that
He only
something?
knows it because he played on the
It's
record.
blues too, because if you listen to old blues records, they have something called a 12-bar blues. The old musos out there, you know what I'm talking about. Those old guys didn't do that. As soon as they finished saying what they said, then they would change the chord.
Isn't that
They
great?
did. That's
Okay,
amazing.
and Lennon and even Bowie would do the same thing. So you find odd bits here and there that musically would be incorrect to somebody who was a
music.
a scholar kind of a person,
Yeah.
whereas what it has to do with just feeling, you know.
You're a songwriter, Mark, and there was mention that in the song Imagine that there's actually some mistakes in there with lyrical mistakes.
He would do that a lot because there's a rule of thumb that you're not supposed to say the same word after you've just said the word, and John didn't care. And so many, the musicologists go, well, that's really improper. Well, there's no such thing. It's like John Lennon actually said to me once, because I got to hang out with him during the Lost Weekend when he was away from Yoko. And I got to ask him one Beatle question every time I was with him.
Really?
And he asked me another, I'll punch you in the fucking head. Okay. So he punched me like 4 times since I knew him.
Do you know how I know that you were part of the Lost Weekend? I saw the movie Who is Harry Nilsson over the weekend. And I went, I recognize a voice, and I went running over, and there you were.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was
that was, it was a weird time because he wanted to go home to Yoko, and he was kind of frustrated. And I said to him, but I'm an artist. And he said to me, if you want art, buy a painting. And when John Lennon said that, that gives you the freedom to go, really? I can do anything I want as a musician.
I love the scholars because they'll just tell you how improper it is. And the first thing I say, how many records you sell last week,
There you
mofo?
go.
Easy. Don't get Earl mad.
No, it's true, though. It's like, you got all these experts and critics out there and say, well, excuse me, you're down there and you just paid money to watch me play. So one of us is doing something different than the other guy.
There you go.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm
Right.
up here, you're down there.
Yeah.
So.
I never
Yeah.
tell musicians what to do, and that's probably why my show's so successful.
Oh,
having all
yes.
these
You
great
don't
guests.
ever tell musicians what
No.
to do.
It's a
No.
mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that we don't need to be corralled, because it's not like an excuse, like we can do whatever we want.
Yes, we do.
You got to have some
We
sort
still
of
go
form.
to jail, but
Even in the songwriting perspective, and I've written for so many people from Hanson,
Celine.
and Celine Dion.
Oh.
But every time you
Errol
see
Smith, let's don't
no,
overlook
I know,
that.
but they're all different from each other. And John Lennon had his own thing, and we both got to know him, and
God bless.
that was heaven. Heaven.
Mark is a true songwriter because I've heard songs come out of him that are completely unrelated. You know what I
To
mean?
the next one.
To the next one.
Yeah.
That would be like it sounded like came out of 2 different guys. That's a real songwriter.
Yeah, you know why? Because when you write the song, that's the truth and the honesty. And how someone interprets your song is what makes it different.
Yeah.
Celine Dion, I thought she just was a skinny Quebecian who hits her chest when she sings. And all of a sudden, she heard the song that I had written with Carole King, and she went, only one guy can produce this, George Martin.
Wow.
So the Beatles producer produced the song that I wrote, which means I can't get away from them even if I wanted to. And I don't.
I saw a Beatles tribute band called Black Rabbit. Have you heard anything about young kids, like
No.
23, 24 years old, and they're doing a lot of Beatles covers, and they have their original music, and they're channeling John Lennon. I saw them at City Winery, and it's wonderful that his music has transcended all these generations. We're lucky to grow up in the era. You guys are lucky to work with them. And
Well,
it's-
Earl really got, he...
We both grew up in the right place at the right time, especially me, because he had to actually move, to
To
get away
LA?
from
Get
where,
away from
for
where
the
I
West
was.
Coast up in Oregon,
Yeah.
where I was already here.
Okay.
So I was here when it hit fan, and I was exactly at the right age, at the right time, in the right place, for everything to just pan out. Had I been living or grew up in Idaho or some
I grew
Iowa,
up in Illinois. I was far away from everything.
Well,
and,
if you yeah, Chicago, which
Not bad.
I
Well,
spent time.
Buddy
Okay.
Guy Land.
Yeah,
Everything
Buddy
was in New
Guy
York,
Land,
yeah.
But it was a matter I was here.
Yeah,
and
you're lucky,
and
yeah.
I had to drive and I worked my
Tail off.
butt off to
Yeah.
get where I got.
Well, you know what else
Good for
happened?
you.
They're doing a thing downtown, I just heard, about the Velvet Underground.
Yes, I went by it.
Yeah, and it's not open yet, but they're actually doing like a museum or walkthrough.
I walked by.
And they're saying like they were not really a successful band. Like they didn't sell millions of records,
It's
but
on
Andy
Broadway.
Warhol,
Yep.
David Bowie, they all got attached to their sound.
They must have had an opening on Wednesday night because I happened to be walking by. And
Yeah,
I
it
saw,
was, yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what's this?
And that's weird. It's like a
Yeah.
band that wasn't really successful, but they still had an impact on David Bowie, on
That's
and
something.
Lou Reed came from that band.
Well, it was critically successful. Like a
Yeah.
movie. Sometimes there's these great movies that everybody loves the movie, but nobody hardly sees it. But the people that do see it love it. Mm-hmm. And
The
it's,
Academy Award won. The Woman Who Made Love with a Fish last year won an Oscar.
I missed it.
I don't know
I
why.
did too.
Maybe it's just me in my room.
I had jet lag.
We have a couple more photos. Could we roll in so we can take a look at that? That was
Gene.
one of your other ones.
Gene
yeah.
Cornish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
From
still
the
with
Raps.
us. Look
Oh,
at that.
Oh my God.
I
Oh,
found
God.
one of Mark and
Nice tie.
Cher.
Yeah, Mark Earl. That was me and Cher. Yeah.
That's before your beard started to change color.
Let's not start now. That's a black and white photo.
That's
oh,
Susan
me and
Russo.
Susan.
That's the publicist. Surprise, Susan. She's the one that booked the show today.
Yeah, she's the booker. She's
Yeah.
done.
Oh, I
She's
know
a rock
that,
and
but
roll
I was looking at you. You're scaring me.
Oh God.
It's the jet lag. Don't
Yeah,
worry
no,
about
not
it.
only the
It's-
jet
it's
lag,
all
you like
good.
it.
It's
Yeah.
all
So
good.
you've been in the UK. I know we've been waiting
People
for
start
you a long
thinking,
time.
do you live there now? They go,
Oh,
I might
yeah.
as well, because I don't get jet lag going anymore. I get it coming home.
Oh, isn't that something?
It tells you how much I've been there. It's okay.
Wow, wow.
Love them Brits.
And weren't you working with Glenn?
Yeah, Glenn Matlock from the Pistols, which I mentioned earlier. And I actually did like a 12-city speaking tour,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
a riot. It was
Question and
great
answer, yeah.
to be able to get with the fans, you know,
Right.
tell a couple of stories, take questions and answers, do some autographs, and really see what the people that pay money to come and see me are all about. And it
Yeah.
was so cool. We hit little villages, everything from London to Norwich and Isle of Wight was great. Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
We did a press release on you, and someone responded that you're the favorite guitarist that they've had. They love all your the albums that you were on with Bowie. Like,
In Great Britain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The UK's been good to me for a long time, and I have a lot of fun when I go there. I also have a lot of friends, and the musical community that we had here, that we don't really see much anymore. I mean, when I go over, Matlock's got a flat in the right place. I have my own room there with the guitar and amp, my clothes there, so like I just go over. But the neighborhood, everybody's there. You know,
Yeah.
we all end up at the same coffee house.
Yeah.
And these are all guys that have been around the block that I've known for years, and it's great.
You
You
kind of
know?
miss that in today's music. You know, I think that there's so much competition that in the old days we could be on 2 different albums, and I would say I need a guitar solo there, and he'd go okay, and he just would show up and play it. Now you have to get permission from your lawyer, and then you have to ask for 8 points on the record. It's just. You know, it's interesting. If I could brag for a minute, my daughter, Sarah Hudson, has become a bigger songwriter than I could ever have been. Dark horse for Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, Justin Bieber, the Spanish girl that sits with too much hair. She's writing these huge hits, and no longer is there 2 guys on a record. Now you have the guy that programs the drums going, I want 8 points, and my dog, Lugnut, gets a point because he's my inspiration. So Lugnut has a publishing deal. And I wrote to her and said, Sarah, please keep writing hits. Pretty soon Dad's going to be in a diaper and I need a guest house. No, Earl.
what's it
I'm
like
close.
to live with you, Mark?
You don't even want to know, baby. It's just, pretty soon she'll put me in a house. You're just thinking of me in a diaper.
No, not in a house, in a home. The difference.
Yeah, I get it.
That's fine. You guys have a favorite story? You know, you've worked with legendary, musicians all your life.
Maybe
you know?
You go first.
I'm sure you have a Bowie one, right? No? You must.
Mark's been here before.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you go first.
Oh, there's so many Bowies. They just, one thing about DB I got to tell you is he had a hell of a good sense of humor most of the time. One time that he didn't, this is going, when I first started working with David, we were doing the Diamond Dogs tour, which was the extravagant, stupidly expensive.
Big.
It was put together by Jules Fisher, who did all kinds of sets for Broadway and all the rest of this. And I mean, it had a bridge that moved up and down. It was crazy. And during Space Oddity, when he was doing the Major Tom bit, he went up in this cherry picker.
Oh my.
Okay, above the audience. First of all, he didn't like heights. So I don't know. We might have even been at Radio City. It wasn't good for him. But he'd go up there, they'd put a microphone inside this telephone. He would sing into it from up here.
Oh, wow.
Well, one day, they couldn't get the damn cherry picker to come down.
Oh, no. He was stuck.
We loved it. We're all in the band pointing up there laughing at that and stuff. He finally came down, and after the show, he wasn't happy about that, but I mean, you know, there's so many different stories. That was my favorite one, though, because we actually got to point and laugh at the boss, and he couldn't really do nothing until after the show.
Those are the great ones.
Wow. I went to see the Bowie exhibit at Brooklyn Museum, and I spent 3 hours there. It was just like incredible. And you worked with him.
He was the real deal.
Yeah. I worked with the professional photographer Albert Watson, and he said that Bowie was his favorite because he was a real true artist. Yeah. And how about you, Mark? What's your favorite story?
I have so many stories.
You have wonderful
to keep
stories.
them clean. So I'm going to tell a Kenny Rogers story.
Oh, I don't think I've heard this one.
Okay, yeah. So my brothers and I just get to California, and we're ready to go. Remember, we're three brothers, and we could harmonize our butts off, just like the Bee Gees, and we're a family. We knew we could harmonize. And Kenny Rogers heard that we could, and he was making a record, but he was with the First Edition then. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in. So my brothers and I go, this is great, we can go to a studio. And we were outside the studio for like 4 hours before it opened with our lunch boxes waiting to get this chance. Kenny Rogers shows up, and he has the Elvis glasses, and he had blue eyes.
What town is this in?
In Torrance, California.
Oh, wow.
Donnie Sherrata's studio. Yeah, it was a bad neighborhood, but great studio. So Kenny Rogers shows up with like Elvis glasses, and at that point he had blue eyes, like one blue east and one blue west. When he took his glasses off, he was driving like this because he was kind of crossed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, I was shocked. But there he was. And then the First Edition had a girl singer who was really cute. Now, my brothers and I in our youth, we would...
Be mischievous?
Yes. So we all were hoping that she would fall in love with one of us.
Oh.
I wasn't the cute one. My brother Bill, who married Goldie Hawn, gorgeous. My brother Brett,
I've seen those
cover of
old
16
videos,
magazine.
yeah.
I was just talented and well endowed. So to me, it was a... Okay, so we sing background for him.
Oh, you did?
And we're there for like 4 hours, and we're like, you know, but we're singing all this great stuff, and he's loving it and loving it and loving it. And we had just gotten to California. So at the end of the night, he goes, boys, you did a great job. And we walk up like the three, you know, hello, 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 with our hands out, thinking we're going to get paid. He reaches in his pocket, and we're going, this is great. We're actually going to make money. And he gave us $8 each and said, here you go buy some meat. I still don't even know what that means. He said, go buy some meat. Now, I don't know what $8 could buy you at that point in time.
McDonald's.
We've never forgiven him for that. And then later on, we became the Hudson Brothers, and we were famous, and we were all in Vegas, and we got to walk up to him. And at that point, he'd been hit in the head, so his eyes straightened out. And we just, no, not really, I don't know. And we just said, Kenny.
You throw some meat at him?
You guys, I love your story. We could go on for another hour, but you know, we only have like 10 minutes left of the show. I need for you guys to get over to the set. If you could step over to the set and
bring some meat with you.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take mine rare.
Okay, shut up.
Could I ask you to step over to the set?
Yes, sure.
I hope everything's working.
We don't listen very well, if you haven't noticed.
No.
Oh, guys, I love having you come
not good
here.
students.
We're sorry that we don't follow the rules, Ginge.
That's
What
they
rules?
don't listen. You're right. But neither do we. Thanks a lot. We've got Earl Slick here, and we also have Mark Hudson here at the show. So fun to have them here. And, you know, please come back. You're going to enjoy the music.
We're going to start off with a John Lennon song that Earl is actually on the record playing. One of our favorite tunes of his called I'm Losing You. John always wrote about the truth. Usually what was going on in his life, he would write about. And so this is one of those things, and we're going to do it now while we still have time. 2, 3, 4. Here in some stranger's room, here in the afternoon, what am I doing here at all? There ain't no doubt about it, I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Somehow the wires got crossed, communications lost. Can't even get you on the telephone. There ain't no doubt about it, I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Here in the valley of indecision, I don't know what to do. I feel you slipping away. I feel you slipping away. Tell me, Earl, I'm losing you. That was a spot of them. I'm losing you. Say that you're not getting enough. Tired of all that bad stuff. What in the hell am I supposed to do? Just put a Band-Aid on it and stop the bleeding now. Stop the bleeding now.
Wow.
Losing you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.
Thank you all for reading. I can't see that far. Okay, now we're going to do an Aerosmith song. And I was fortunate enough to be one of the writers on this, which is good. It's been, it's really interesting.
You have to learn it. It's okay.
It's okay. You can learn it fast. I got a chance to write with them, and I'd never thought that it would happen. But I wrote this song because usually they're always like "Love in an Elevator" and all that stuff. And because John Lennon was such an influence to me, I thought at that point in life, all the music was, let's hear it for the boys. Like white people humping and dancing on the 1 and 3, you know, Footloose. And no one was saying stuff that John Lennon would say. And I had this thing and I played it for him and he went, wow. And then next thing you know, boom, became a hit, won a Grammy. People wanted to work with me. I got stuck with Earl and my life has never been the same. So we're gonna no, you can't. I gave it to my mom. So we're gonna do it now. And check out the words. It actually makes more sense for what's going on in our country now than it did when we first wrote it. Something's wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with our eyes. Seeing things in a different way. God knows it ain't his. It sure ain't no surprise. We're living on the edge. Living on the edge. Living on the edge. Living on the edge, yeah. Listen here. There's something wrong with the world today. The light bulb is getting dim. There's meltdown in the sky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you can judge a person by the color of his skin, Mister, you're a better man than I. We're living on the edge. You can't help yourself from falling. Living on the edge. You can't help yourself at all, yeah. Living on the edge, you can't help yourself from falling, yes. Living on the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, or tell me what you think about your situation. Complications, aggravation are getting to you. If Chicken Little tells you that the sky is falling, even if it wasn't, you still come crawling back again. I bet you would, my friend. Again and again and again and again. Something's right with the world today, and everybody knows it's wrong. You can let it go, but you got to know there's never gonna be you hanging on. I'm living on the edge. You can't help yourself from falling. Living on the edge. You can't help yourself at all. Yeah. Living on the edge. You can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. You're never, never, never gonna help yourself. You can't help yourself from falling. Yeah.
By the way.
Good. Thank you.
Wow.
happy?
Thanks for the show.
Thank you.
Wow, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
No.
Wow, wasn't
Anytime.
that fun? What do you think, everybody?
It's always
Wow, what a show.
Good audience. Good audience.
good. Peace and love.
Thank you, everyone, for coming in. And my name is Ginger Broderick. I'm the host of the Ginger New York TV show. I'm sure you really enjoyed this afternoon's show, and I want to thank Mark Hudson, Earl Slick for joining in, Susan Russo for booking the show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. We're here every Friday afternoon at 2 p.m.
Not
Good
we,
night.
she is.
She is. Yeah, we're nice. See you around when you bend over.
Bye.
Okay.
Great. All right.
Great.